I'm Matthew Chan from Totorola. So, as I understand it, customs into China is, problematic depending on who you know, what city you ship the wine into, stuff like that. Are you suggesting that if we were to transship it through Hong Kong, with this pre-evaluation process, it would expedite it down to 1 day?
Yes, this is an agreement that that we have signed with the Chinese government.
It's like they're clearing custom in Hong Kong as opposed to China?
Indeed, clearance of customs by the mainland side. Yeah.
So you do it twice or only once?
Once with the mainland. Yeah.
Clear it in Hong Kong?
Yeah. In the mainland. We have to do it in the mainland. Yeah.
At Shenzhen?
Shenzhen for the time being, but in future it will be some other mainland cities as well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but if you're interested, actually the agreement just came out this morning, so you could go to the government website and you will find in the press release on
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is John Snogan from Metropolitan Wines. I'm just going to sneak in two really quick questions. One is, how much of the wine imported into Hong Kong can be characterized, or whatever, as French Bordeaux, in terms of percentages, and then the balance being the rest of the world? And then the second part of the question is, why do you suppose that Washington State has such a small market share? In your opinion, is it because of a lack of marketing efforts on our part as a state, or do you think there's maybe some sort of perception problem that the best wines come from the Bordeaux region of France and the rest of the world doesn't matter?
Yeah. Indeed, as far as wine is concerned, the U.S. is actually not doing very badly. I think the U.S. ranked number 4 right now, and indeed you can look at the volume. It has gone up. The value. It has gone up significantly. But you are absolutely right. France is the major player in Hong Kong. They are number 1. I think they have more than half of the market share, total market share in Hong Kong. And of course the French, you know that they have a long history in wine production. The number 2, if I remember correctly, would be the UK. And then number 3 is Australia, which is extremely aggressive. I think their market share is, however, 8.2%. And the US market share is 8% for the time being. So, as I pointed out earlier on, my colleagues in Australia have already signed a memorandum of understanding with New Zealand and Australia, and I certainly would like to catch up. The good thing is we have 50 states in the US, and if I remember correctly, only 2 do not produce wine. And I also understand that you have a wide variety of wine. I've heard of apple wine, pineapple wine. I have yet to learn about potato wine. Maybe sometime down the road in Idaho. And apple wine, they are of course very famous also in Washington State as well. I do think that I think you are absolutely right. It is the sort of promotion efforts. That's an error, because when people talk about wine, most of the time they come to think about France, Italy, and whatnot. But the good thing is in Hong Kong, we are now selling a whole variety of wine. I would strongly encourage any wine exporters, distributors. When you go to Hong Kong, you should walk in, you should try to visit our supermarkets and some of the wine sellers, and try to look at the sort of price range, and also the variety of wine that is available in Hong Kong, including the countries of origin. You will find that with whole range, Italy, Chile, South Africa, you name it, Europe, Hungary, China, definitely. But of course, some are better and some are not as good. So, and then you would have to pick your own niche. There is another area, I think, in my view, okay, I'm not a wine expert, I must admit. I'm still learning. In Hong Kong, I think people drink more red wine rather than white wine. I don't think that many of them appreciate that for white wine, that's actually, it carry a whole range of flavor. Apricot, butter, apple wine and that sort of thing. So I think you need some sort of promotion efforts, and I think it would be great to work with the Washington Wine Commission, and on our part, we will work closely with the state governments to hopefully to come up with programs. And there's of course another area, and that is to take part in this Wine Expo, as Ruben just alluded to, and also the International Wine and Spirits Fair. I mentioned that we had like 12,000 buyers. This is not for the members public. Sorry, the last day will be open to the members public. But the first few days, these are for the buyers. And if I remember correctly, you could have as many as 60% of the buyers coming from the mainland. So do bear that in mind. You are not just targeting the Hong Kong or the international buyers. When you take part in this international wine fairs in Hong Kong, you are targeting the mainlanders as well. I hope I answered your question.
You did, thank you.
Yes.
You talked about the new agreement, and you talked about the storage in Hong Kong. In terms of actually moving the product from Hong Kong into China, what's your perception in terms of quality preservation?
I think the beauty about Hong Kong is when there is a profit-making opportunities, Hong Kong people will come up with innovative ideas. That's how Hong Kong people survive, or Hong Kong business community survive. As Matt, I think, have spun out early on, indeed, you know that some of the ships in Hong Kong have been already, for military purpose, long time ago, have been turned into wine cellars. And we have also turned some of the industrial buildings in old industrial buildings in Hong Kong into wine cellars. But in order to protect the interests of those the vineyards and also the wine investors, we have come up with this certification system. So and indeed we have already a well-developed system in preserving fresh produce, shipping from on the road from the mainland to Hong Kong, because mainland is our main source of fresh produce. So we are very good in controlling temperature and also the humidity and whatnot. So I'm pretty sure that there are ways whereby we could control that. Oh, yes.
You know if the labeling regulations are synchronized, harmonized between the two places, Hong Kong and China?
This is, I must admit, an area which I do not know. But as far as Hong Kong is concerned, we don't like counterfeit products. And we know that in order to make Hong Kong a regional wine hub and maintain Hong Kong's position as a major auction center for fine wine, the first thing that we need to do is to be very serious in tackling, combating all this counterfeit wine. So as far as Hong Kong is concerned, you can rest assured, you are protected. Yeah, and of course, as I pointed out earlier on, we are also working very closely with our Chinese counterparts because they want to make sure that the right duty has been levied on this imported wine as well.
So we can follow up with Jeff for you on the labeling requirement.
Yeah, sure. Perhaps when we get the information, we can forward such to Robert, and you can make this available to our friends out here.
Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
Sounds like you have a real plan.